Today we talk about the philosopher who became a saint. Edith Stein, 1891–1942, later known as Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, lived a life shaped by two worlds that rarely met: the rigorous intellectual discipline of phenomenology and the deep interior silence of Christian mysticism. A student and assistant of Edmund Husserl, the founder of phenomenology, Stein was trained to study consciousness with precision, free from assumptions and dogma. But her journey led her beyond academic philosophy into a profound spiritual awakening. She came to believe that awareness is not merely a mental function, it is an encounter with divine presence, a window through which the soul touches ultimate reality. Her life and writings bridge the gap between analysis of the mind and the mystical experience of God, showing that the deepest truths are not learned, they are revealed in silence. Phenomenology, returning to pure experience. Phenomenology, as Stein practiced it, was a radical method. Return to the thing itself, experience before interpretation. Rather than analyzing beliefs or theories, phenomenology examines how consciousness encounters the world directly. For Stein, every moment of awareness contains meaning. The mind does not invent reality, it receives it. When perception is stripped of bias, something extraordinary emerges. Consciousness is found to be open, receptive, and relational. We do not stand above existence, we participate in it. This insight became the foundation of Stein's later spirituality. The same openness with which the mind receives the world becomes the openness with which the soul receives God. Phenomenology was not a detour. It was her doorway to the infinite. Empathy. How consciousness meets other souls. Stein's first major philosophical contribution was her study of empathy, how one consciousness recognizes another. She observed that human beings do not merely infer the existence of other minds. We experience them. When someone laughs, we feel joy resonate. When someone suffers, pain stirs within us. Consciousness is not isolated. It is permeable, capable of entering into communion. Stein believed this capacity for empathy was not just psychological but metaphysical. The human soul is created for relationship. If we can enter the inner world of another human being, then consciousness is already oriented toward the relational dimension of existence, the same dimension that opens toward God. Empathy becomes a training ground for mysticism, where the soul learns to receive presence, not through sight, but through interior awareness. The soul as a temple of presence. Stein gradually discovered that phenomenology, at its deepest level, could not stop at the analysis of the mind. It must confront the mystery that grounds the mind. Consciousness is never self-sufficient. It is illuminated from beyond. For her, this meant the soul is not a closed chamber, but a temple of presence. She wrote that the soul has an interior structure, layers of self-awareness that lead from surface emotion down into the silent center where God dwells. In this innermost depth, the soul encounters a presence that is not imagination or memory, but being itself. This is why she saw interior silence as essential. When thought becomes quiet, the heart awakens to a presence that does not speak through words, but through being. Awareness is revelation. The Carmelite path. Contemplation and surrender. After reading the autobiography of Saint Teresa of Avila, Stein recognized in Carmelite mysticism the same truths she discovered through philosophy. The contemplative path is a deeper phenomenology, an examination of the soul not through concepts, but through interior experience. In the Carmelite tradition, prayer is not asking for miracles, it is total receptivity. The soul becomes quiet, the ego softens, the heart opens. For Stein, this was not a retreat from thinking, but the fulfillment of it, the mind finally rests in what it always longed for. God is not known as an object, but encountered as the living reality that sustains every breath. Consciousness becomes worship, not through ritual, but through awareness united with love. The Cross. Transformation of consciousness in suffering. Stein's spirituality was forged in suffering, personal loss, exile, the rise of Nazi terror, and ultimately martyrdom at Auschwitz. Yet she saw suffering not as divine punishment, but as a transformation of consciousness. In her view, the cross is not merely a historical event, it is a spiritual principle. The ego is shattered, and the deeper self awakens. When suffering is accepted without bitterness, the soul becomes transparent, refined like gold in fire. In that transparency, God's presence shines unobstructed. For Stein, the cross reveals the deepest truth about consciousness. Love is strongest when there is nothing left to cling to. Awareness becomes pure gift, a participation in the divine compassion that embraces the world, knowledge, love, and the structure of the soul. Stein believed that the soul perceives God in two complementary ways, through knowledge and through love. Knowledge opens the mind to divine truth. Love opens the heart to divine presence. When both unite, consciousness becomes fully alive, clear, radiant, receptive. She described the soul as having a spiritual organ, capable of perceiving God directly, in the same way the eye perceives light. But like any organ, it must be awakened. This awakening is not achieved through argument, but through purification, humility, silence, empathy, and contemplation. In this state, awareness stops grasping and begins receiving. The soul sees not with physical sight, but with the inner vision of spirit, the same vision that mystics across history have described in different languages, but with one truth. God is known from within. Awareness as union with the divine. In the end, Stein's life reveals a profound insight. Consciousness is the point of contact between the human and the divine. Every moment of awareness is already taking place within God, because existence itself is grounded in infinite being. The soul does not need to climb to heaven, it needs to awaken to the presence already within. Mysticism, then, is not fantasy, it is clarity. Phenomenology was Stein's path to that clarity. Carmelite prayer was its completion. Her final teaching is simple and revolutionary. To be aware, truly aware, is already to touch God. Silence, empathy, contemplation, and love are not spiritual techniques. They are ways of becoming transparent to the light already shining inside us. The soul's knowledge of God. Edith Stein lived and died as both philosopher and saint. She never abandoned reason. She purified it. She never rejected the world. She saw it illuminated from within. Her legacy is the revelation that the human heart and the divine mind meet in a single place, conscious awareness. Every breath, every thought, every moment of stillness is an opportunity for encounter. For Stein, God did not hide from the world. We simply forget how to see. But when the soul becomes quiet, when the heart becomes receptive, awareness itself becomes prayer, and the divine presence reveals itself in silence.